I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Linda Tran, the Development Director at Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies Coalition of Broward County. Our mission is strengthening families and improving birth outcomes in the underserved community within Broward County through comprehensive programs, education, and access to vital support services. So without further ado, I am handing this over to our compelling and interesting, funny comedian from Las Vegas who is HIV positive, Andy Best. So take it over, Andy. Please tell us about your life
Sure.
through adulthood.
Sure. As I always start, I always introduce myself as the first openly HIV positive born stand-up comedian. And adulthood with HIV, I would say it was a little bit easier than my childhood and adolescent stage, because I just kind of had a grasp of, the whole HIV thing, as well as a little bit more confident. I knew, that I wasn't sick being HIV positive, and my life is normal.
So do you get a lot of questions from people regarding like how you came about to be a comedian? Because I know we discussed it in our past segments, but just to refresh everyone's memory.
Yeah, a few times. I get asked, and the story is me and my buddy Larry, we was watching Kevin Hart's Laugh in My Pain, and we thought we can do that too. So we created a comedy club called Comic Relief at our college, and we had our first show, which was a play on words of Laugh at My Pain. We used cachinnation situated towards thine anguish, which is just a smart word to say, or a smart way to say Laugh at My Pain. Had my first laugh, had a guy running up and down the aisles just from pure laughter. And I was like, it clicked. I was like, this is my thing.
So how has being HIV positive changed your attitude and your outlook on life? How do you deal with the triumphs and the failures that you went through in life when being HIV positive affects it? Like, how has that affected you in your failures? Like, in what way? And then in your triumphs, in what way?
I don't really think HIV affected any type of failures. Actually, I feel like it's been kind of lifting me up a little bit better, because I've just been able to, especially like now with keeping it positive, I've been able to use it to my advantage, and inspiring people, empowering people. So, I don't think it really has, besides, your negative people that was like, oh, you shouldn't be talking about HIV on stage. Other than that, it hasn't really bothered me or affected me negatively.
So you're saying that people who wonder if they are HIV positive, or who are too afraid to go get tested, or the people who are HIV positive, they should take what you are saying and you encourage them to have a positive outlook in life, because in your case, being born, being HIV positive, it hasn't really affected you negatively and just pulled you down, correct?
Yeah. I'm always on stage trying to motivate, whether somebody is HIV positive or HIV negative. And my thing is, my humor is self-deprecating. So basically I'm laughing at myself, and I'm trying to use that to have other people, think, oh, don't take life so seriously. It's okay to laugh at yourself. I have HIV. I'm going to share the funny parts of HIV with, my audience.
So how has that affected the pandemic? Obviously is very scary. Have you incorporated the pandemic, the coronavirus, with being HIV positive into your routines?
Oh yeah. I tell people all the time, like, Don't invite me to nothing because one more virus than me, y'all calling me LimeWire. So don't invite me until this pandemic is over. Everything is virtual.
And how has that been for you? Like, what is the difference between you having in-person events and now having to adapt to the situation and the times and doing virtual events? Like, what is the difference for you?
It was hard to adjust at first. I remember comedian Steve Brown. He used to do quarantine talent shows, what he called it. And so I got on and did my, routine, and it was just me and him, and then everybody in the Instagram comments, and it didn't go so well because I'm so used to being in a crowd and hearing, one person laugh creates, 10 other people behind them laughing. So it was different, and just like trying to feed off your audience.
Right, because when everyone's on mute, it's kind of like, well, you can't tell if are they laughing at your jokes or they're just being quiet completely.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we'll just pretend that they're laughing at your jokes, but they're on mute. Yeah, right. So the energy, you say, is completely different from when you are in person as opposed to a virtual. How do you think you overcome that? That it's a virtual event.
Just keep going. Go with the same confidence as you would with, a room full of 10, maybe 10,000 people, So I just go in and I know these jokes work with that type of audience. So I'm going to go in with the same confidence. After I did like Steve Brown, I performed for Dee Davis, who used to play Brianna on the Bernie Mac show. And it was the exact opposite. She was crying, laughing. So it took some time to get adjusted to it, but eventually, it still works out. Sometimes it don't because it's the virtual thing. So
what is your advice for comedians who are trying to readjust their routine and now are doing it virtually? Because I've been to a few, and when you go on Zoom or any virtual events, they immediately put you on mute. So do you encourage the host to put everyone on mute or unmute everyone?
I'd say unmute everybody, because as a comedian, I need the laughter, I need the energy, I need to hear people. So I did a thing for the Metro Health. I had to remember the name. In Baton Rouge for a Zoom meeting. And I asked everybody, please unmute, because I don't want to feel like I'm performing in a library. So I needed to hear people.
So for comedians, the Zoom etiquette, because I think that we're all learning Zoom etiquette now, right?
Yeah.
For comedians, the Zoom etiquette or the Zoom etiquette book that you should probably be writing, right? Is unmute yourselves and put everyone in gallery view so you could see everyone.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, like I don't even mind when somebody unmutes and then they have a screaming child in the background. That gives me improvisation to tell the child to shut the up. So.
Well, I mean, that's one way to handle it. But I'm pretty sure you probably work that in with your jokes too at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you've been into classrooms, right, like high school, middle school, and you've educated the students about HIV awareness, STDs, or I guess back in the day we used to call it sex education. I don't know what they call it these days.
Right.
So what do you say, or what would you say to the students, or your advice to the students that are in middle school and in high school?
There are things out there that you're going to have to know about, not just want to know about, but have to know about, because your body's changing, and you're going to be interested in someone, and you got to know how to protect you and that person.
Okay, so I have a scenario. So say for instance, I I obviously am sexually active because I have 2 children.
Right.
So, but um, if I was unsure if I had HIV or not, and I
Hmm.
was really scared, and I went to you, and I went to one of your shows, and
Hmm.
I said to you, Andy, I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous. Like, do you think I should get tested? Like, it's going to cost me, it's going to end my life. It's going to cost me a lot of money. It's
Hmm.
going to affect my family. Like, what should I do? What advice would you give me?
Uh, who told you all that? That's the first thing I'll say. And because I want to be able to comfort you in knowing that, you're gonna be okay. There are resources out here to make sure that you can get your medicine, at your expense. And your health is going to be fine as long as you listen to your doctors and consistently take your meds and listen to everything.
Okay, so I mean, if you don't have the money for it, there is financial assistance
Yeah.
or assistance or resources that offer that to you, because I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure that's, like we discussed before, one of the main apprehensions that people have before they go get tested, because they feel like they can't afford the medication. I mean, how much medicine do you take?
Right now I'm taking 2 pills. $50 a pill, 30 pills in a bottle, 2 bottles. So if my math is correct, I'm not even gonna do that math because my head hurts. Went to art school. Um, and so yeah, 2 pills. I've gotten down to 2 pills, I should say, because there was a time, as I told you in previous episodes, that I took 10 pills a day. So you know, my medical assistance program, they really help out with that to where I'm not paying anything for these pills, helping with insurance and things like that. So,
So you lived with this your entire life, and I know your grandmother was and is still such a very big part of that support system for you. She
mhm,
has always been mentally, emotionally, physically there for you. So for
definitely.
people who are now finding out that they're HIV positive or have AIDS, is there a support network, a support resource that they can
Definitely.
go to?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you go to your local clinic or even like health department, I'm sure they can provide you with resources. Ask for a social worker; they'll definitely have some resources. And then easiest going on Facebook, searching, HIV support groups. I've joined like 3 of them on Facebook, and we're all, making sure that we all are mentally okay, and asking or answering any questions that somebody may have that recently diagnosed. So it definitely helps to find somebody that's going through the same thing.
So what are some questions that you can think of that someone that just found out that they have HIV asked you in the Facebook group?
As I always get the how do I tell my boyfriend or girlfriend, as well as how do I live, and it's always the same response. Make sure that you know talk to your boyfriend or girlfriend, because it's going to affect both of you, and you guys are going to be okay as long as you take proper precautions.
Right, because a lot of people believe that when they have HIV, that's like a death sentence, but
Oh
it's
yeah,
not a death sentence. As
not at
long
all.
as you take your medication, you can live a long, fulfilling life like yourself,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, I got a bit where I say, HIV doesn't even sound scary anymore. Like I tell people all the time, I'm HIV positive. Like,
I know you're wearing your shirt too, right?
yeah, being HIV positive is not a negative thing for $20 at indiefanscomedy.com.
I mean, we all want to support you. So get his shirts, please. Um, so I noticed that you've been very busy on social media. Have you been getting a lot of requests to do segments like this one? People have lots of questions, have workshops, lunch and learns. Like, have people reached out to you regarding that?
Yeah, me and my manager Juan, we actually just got an email from a recent organization that we performed for, and they recommended us to somebody else. So we're actually about to have a chat with them later on. And yeah, I've been talking to Junior Council, their organization at the Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago, helping out HIV or patients affected by HIV and AIDS. So it's been very, very busy week. Just,
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I think I got more enough bags under my eyes that Spirit might charge me.
That's a funny one.
I'm gonna write that one down. That just came to me.
I'm glad that we could inspire you. So because things are opening up now, are you just still sticking to virtual comedy routines, or are you doing in person?
I've been invited to a few, but I'm still a little iffy on it because the government can open up all they want, but I don't think I'll be participating in a few things.
Okay, but you said the virtual events that you've been doing, you've been doing pretty well with them. So do you think moving forward, this is the way to go for you?
I don't think entirely it'll be the only way, but give it a few more months. We'll see how Corona, or Auntie Rona as I call it, we'll see how long she's gonna be here. And who knows? I think I'll go back to in-person things eventually.
Yes, like you said, like it's very different with it being in person, and I think that a lot of us kind of crave those in-person performances because it's so different now.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you crave the same thing too.
Definitely.
Okay, so do you think that it's been different for you as an adult having HIV, or it just hasn't been much of any difference?
I think, as I mentioned, it is only different because now I'm more confident. As a child, I did not tell anybody who wasn't close family or friends, of my status. So now, like, I'm okay, with telling people because, keeping it positive really helped me out almost therapeutically because, it's being able to talk openly about things that I've been bottling in for so long.
Can you kind of talk about, oh, sorry, Linda, can you kind of talk about the mindset that you had? So you started off where you weren't confident in bringing this up to folks. And now that you're an adult, you're a role model for a lot of kids and folks and people that have the same, circumstances that you have. So how has your mindset changed from being, not willing to open up to now you have people that actually look up to you and want to hear your story?
That's a good question, Juan.
Yeah. Oh, that is Juan, my manager, the voice that you heard. Mindset changed as I grew up because I knew, especially like when Keeping It Positive started, I knew that there's going to be 1 million people to reach out to, or more than 1 million, that have HIV, or if not, you want to go even further, have an STD or have something that they're dealing with that they're afraid to talk about. So my mindset is always not more so concerned about the laughs. I know the laughs will come as a comedian. You want the laughs, but I want to make sure that my message is also being, given, that people are actually understanding, where I'm coming from with this.
And so have people been, have they been taking your message and just feeling more confident about themselves because they're learning something?
Yeah. I had a lot of people basically reach out to me and tell me, hey, I really appreciate what you're doing because I got HIV, or a friend of mine got HIV, or family members. So a lot of people have been sharing it to, close family and friends, and it's been kind of relieving for them to know that, somebody is actually out here teaching and, telling that it's going to be okay.
Exactly. So I'm sure young children ask you all the time, and I know we've been through this, and how do you explain HIV and AIDS to like a 5-year-old?
You basically say that, there's something in your body that can make you sick, but, if you take your medicines, you're going to not be sick. You're going to be healthy. It's almost
Okay.
just breaking it down to the simplest form for them.
Okay. Yeah, exactly, because you're 5 years old.
Yeah,
I'm just like thinking about like my son saying,
see your T cells and your immune system, and you want to reach the fire
like
hole.
visuals, right? Like to a Sesame Street version of it. Okay. So what is the next big thing for Andy Feds?
The biggest thing coming up right now is the marathon, 26 miles. I'm representing Keep a Child Alive, which is Alicia Keys' HIV organization. And 26 miles.
Have you trained for it? Because 26 miles is a big undertaking.
Have I trained for it? No. I need to. I actually said I was going to try running this week, but this week's just been super busy. So I got to definitely start next week. I'm going to actually hold things off just to make sure that I can start running, because the only thing I run right now is my mouth. So I definitely got to take it a little bit more seriously. 26 miles.
So do you think like this marathon for you, I know that you like to give back to the community. Is this also a personal thing for you too? Like, are you trying to accomplish a personal goal?
Yeah, like I told myself I'm definitely running all 3 marathons. I mean, no. Sorry,
that's a
what did I get 3 from? Who said that? I'm running all 26 miles of the marathon. Because my thing is, there are families that experience, death with AIDS. I was one of those people. I lost my mom to AIDS, and there's such a pain with that, emotional pain with the family losing their thing, and somebody that died of AIDS had to go through so much pain. So I'm like, running 26 miles doesn't even compare to the pain that somebody that died of HIV or died of AIDS had. So the goal is to finish all of it.
Well, when are you doing this marathon?
March 21st or the 4th. I can't remember. I'm gonna make sure I'm there though. I don't want to be running.
Let us know, because we want to cheer you on.
Oh, for sure. I appreciate that. Yeah, I believe it's March 21st.
Okay. Perfect. So, are there any last remarks that you would like to say, since this is our last segment?
I just want to say thank you to the Healthy Mothers, Healthy Babies of Broward, putting you guys in specific, for just, having me and my manager Juan on and supporting. We want to make sure that you guys understand that we're going to be a major support for you guys as well.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much, Linda. This has been awesome. You've really given us the platform to really showcase what we're all about, showcase what Andy Feds is all about. And the biggest thing for us is people helping people.
Yes,
and we're truly about that.
And I think for us, like, our goal is we try, it's a comprehensive approach. And for us, we go out there and we educate the community too. We highly encourage the community to go get tested also. Mm-hmm. By hearing Andy's story, I believe this will hopefully motivate people to take that next step, because, there's nothing to be afraid of. Andy's living a normal life. He's a successful comedian, and he just learns to adapt as things go. So this is the message that we want people to know.